crooked again.
Happy Friday. Viernes. Said it in a
The
while.
dreaded D word.
The dreaded. Almost 10 o'clock on a Friday. Happy Friday, everybody.
Very late.
Dean and Jen Gross with Gain. Very late, as she says. It's Friday night. How many people would say that 10 o'clock is late on Friday, you think? A lot?
Me.
No. Angie wouldn't.
Angie,
Bill
Angie,
wouldn't.
what's going
All these
on?
vampires coming on board. Good evening, everybody. Happy
Hello,
Friday.
hello.
What's up, Angie? What's good with you?
What's good in you?
What's up,
Hey,
Bill?
hey, Bill. Hey, Chandra.
We're not laughing at you, Bill. I'm laughing at her.
All right.
What's
So
up,
the dreaded D word.
The dreaded
Let's
G.
talk about that.
Yes. So the dreaded D word is disappointment. We've all had it. We all will get it from time to time. So we thought we would chat a little bit about disappointment. Pretty good follow-up from yesterday. You know, we had mentioned yesterday our son had a little bit of a disappointment when he lost a toy, and he and Juliana, our daughter, got some disappointing news today. So it was apropos that we talk a little bit about disappointment and, you know, how to deal with it. Like I said, because it's a normal thing, and you're not disappointed today, but you're gonna have some moments of disappointment. That's just life. So we thought we'd share a few things about that since it's so current. And you know, I'd say the first thing with disappointment, obviously there's the controllable forms of disappointment, things that you had control over, such as performance issues, you know, whether it's in work or school or in athletics, and you just didn't perform as well as you're capable of performing. Maybe in a job you were up for promotion you didn't get, and a raise you didn't get, or you try to get a job and someone else got the job over you. I think school, maybe you didn't get qualified for the university you wanted to, or you didn't do well on a test. There's just, those are controllables based on your effort and your level of preparation. And then there's the uncontrollable, death, bad news, illness, things like the situation they had where there was an illness in the family, and you know, maybe you have to cancel a vacation, or things happen. And so, but either one of them, you know, I'd say the first tip is, the first step is to not deny it. You know, we obviously are big proponents of positive thinking and seeing the cup half full, but at the same token, you don't deny the reality. So when you're disappointed, you know, so if we start with the controllable and say it's a performance issue, or in sports it's a loss, you don't say you're not disappointed when you are. Right. I mean, that's, you know, there's a big difference between dwelling on something and admitting the true state. The reason you want to really not deny it is because that's part of the healing process and actually serves you.
So you can address it.
Yeah. So typically with performance, it's controllable, and there probably was something you could have done better or more of. Maybe it was practice, maybe it was harder effort, and the sting of a loss or not performing well is going to serve you. It's a good reminder. It's a good motivator to drive you through.
Memorable.
Yeah, to give you energy. You know, in sports, they've always said that you don't really learn to win until you lose, and there's a lot of truth to that. You know, like a championship level caliber athlete or team, they typically have to go through some tough losses to learn how to win appropriately, and that really drives them. They learn big lessons from it. So anytime you have failures or disappointments, you learn from them. So you don't want to deny how bad it stings. Because that's how you learn. The uncontrollable is the same thing. You don't really deny it, because again, part of the healing process is to share that with somebody, get support. Sometimes it's mourning. Again, if it may be a death in the family, something along those lines. So you don't really deny the disappointment or the hurt, and that's part of the healing process to share with others. Like I said, there's a big difference between dwelling on something and admitting it. And a big portion of that is just stating it like it is, not making it worse than it is, but not necessarily making it better as well, just being honest. And again, you get a lot of support going that way. What's up, Ronnie? So that was
Hey, Kathleen. Hey, Nate. We missed some of the comments because the cursor was really high, so we weren't seeing what's come through.
Yeah. No, Dean is not the
Positioning
dreaded
of
D
the
word.
computer.
So that's the first part. So not making it worse than it is, but not necessarily better. It is what it is. You get the support you need on an uncontrollable. Controllable, it fuels you. The next aspect is really to understand that you take the lesson you get from it, and there's always another solution. You know, I know in our case with our children, we already have a solution, and they're good. They're happy from the disappointment that what they're missing, and there's something that can replace that. But typically, for everything, there's a solution. And so, similar to what we talked about last night, when you ask quality questions, you don't ask why me, woe was me, why does this always happen, but more of, you know, what's this mean? What great can come from this? What did I learn from this? Where do I go from here? You will come up with another solution. And, you know, typically, again, those controllable things where it was a position you didn't get or a loss in athletics, you know, what could I have done better? What will I do next time? What did we learn? Where do we improve? And that's part of them getting better. The non-controllable too. You know, what could this possibly mean in the bigger picture? What can we do next? And you're already forward thinking and not dwelling and going in the past, but moving forward. So those are, you know, a good way to frame, you know, disappointments. And, you know, a lot of times the solution ends up being a blessing in disguise, and you get so many great positive growth and momentum from what was the initial disappointment that may have seemed very, very big at the time, and it may end up being very small and very key to something much bigger. To growth. So here's the growth, right? So do we see everybody now? So no, the dreaded word isn't Dean, it's disappointment. Yes, Angie, that's big too.
They need to know the truth.
Yeah, and they won't accept it later because if they've never had the experience.
If they think everything is rainbows and unicorns and sunshine.
Yep.
Then dealing with that when they're older is going to be a huge eye opener and difficult for them to overcome. So we're right there with you, Angie.
Yeah, and that comes with you know, I know it gets a lot of
development.
Yeah, a lot of talk is on the infamous participation trophies, and everything is equal, and everything is fair, and you know, that's just not reality. And so the earlier we can teach children that that's not the case, that hey, life isn't fair, and not everyone is equal.
Everyone's different and unique and special in their own ways.
You're going to win sometimes, lose sometimes.
Yeah.
And
you're better at some things and maybe not so much at others, but we can always work on them.
Because that's just, you know, people, unfortunately, children that aren't brought up that way get a hard lesson later, and they don't know how to handle it. If you dealt with loss and you understand those parameters early, it becomes a lot easier to deal with as you get older, and you can build on that. And so when you have these disappointments, so yeah, there's just true growth.
Yeah.
And we can't shelter and protect them. So we agree wholeheartedly that children definitely need to experience that, and they need to know disappointment. They need to see it. They need to see failure. They need to see disappointment for all these reasons. They know how to handle it. They know how to put it in perspective. They know how to grow and learn. And it's part of our job as parents to make sure that we don't shelter them from that, but let them live and experience life that way.
Learning experiences.
And again, it's just a setup of a support system, you know, for your peers as well. So these are, you know, obviously two of the bigger tips we'd have on dealing with the dreaded D. Obviously, there's other, you know, and we shed some light on it yesterday, other modalities and things of dealing with the emotional distress and how you control your emotions, and how both your head and your gut contribute to that. But, you know, again, since it was so fresh, we just thought, hey, it's a good topic to revisit, and specifically those two reasons, that it's not about denial, but it is about framing it afterwards and growing from it. So
for sure,
everybody will get through. So words of wisdom on a Friday night, right?
Yes.
So I don't know if you have anything to add before we.
No, I think you did a good job.
Shut it down, and you know, we have a big weekend full of amusement, right?
Yes.
So I hope all you have a big weekend full of amusement, and with your family and friends. And please like and share this with your family and friends. And connect with us on growthandimprovement.com.
And if you haven't gone if you're not on our newsletter, then you can hop on. It's gainhottips.com, or shoot us your email. We can add you on. If you want to shoot us a private message, we'll add you on there.
Yes. And Nate, by the way, what's up? Love your dog too. Love those white dogs. I'm sure my daughter would love that too.
Yes.
But
a lot of work though.
She wants
I'm not ready to jump into that.
She wants a white dog with, I guess, a little brown in it. I don't know. It keeps changing.
Yeah.
So, but with that, guys, have a great weekend. We will talk to you soon.
Bye, guys.